Hey guys, John here again. If you checked out my last video, there was a bit where the video stopped because it ran out of memory. I thought, well, I'm not redoing a 33-minute video, so there's a little bit that's part 2 of that. So this is going to be part 3. Okay, part 2 was only about 10 seconds long. So this is going to be my books again. And hopefully you enjoyed watching the subject I was showing, because I've got quite a bit more to show and I'm going to try and do it as quick as possible. So the last book I showed was Oscar Poffin, and next one I'm going to do is this one called Occupied. That's our town church behind there. This is from 1980, this one that was done. And some very cool photos in here. These are the ones I like the most. They are very cool. There's my bank where I go. But yeah, they're all queuing up for they're not queuing up to go in the bank, they're queuing up for actually where the entrance is there. That's where we've got our the hole in the wall, should I say, the machines. But at that time they were queuing up for rations, so that's that was actually a queue outside Colin's sweet shop, and that's actually one of Michelle's friends and my friend. It's actually his family that had the sweet shop donkeys years ago. So yeah. But there's some very cool Operation Todd. This is the Myris gun, the biggest one in Guernsey that was going to the Myris battery. I've been in there a few times. There's the Gaumont Cinema with the old Adolf picture there, look at the top. And that's the Myris. They disguised it as a little bungalow type thing with the I don't know how they disguised the gun so much, but by that picture, maybe it was a TV antenna, but we didn't have TV then. Maybe it was a telephone pole that looked like it had fallen into the building, but that's what it looks like now, roughly. And there's a little square bit in the middle. I've actually climbed underneath there. There's loads of tunnels right around the whole of that place, massive big tunnels, right? And I've actually come through a little tunnel that could only just fit through as a kid. Climb through and come up through that square. And there's no ladder to go up it. You had to like sort of shimmy up the shaft. Quite scary. So yeah, at one point we sent the fat kid in first, and it was the biggest mistake ever, because when he got stuck, we couldn't actually physically turn around to go backwards through the shaft, and I was, you know, a lot smaller than I am now. I wouldn't even chance it now going through there, and he got through and said to us, I'm stuck, and we were thinking, oh my god. And there was loads of us, there must have been about 20 of us that went, and we went in, and we weren't really supposed to be there, to be quite honest. That was like 30 was it 30 years? Yeah, about 28 years ago, 30 years ago we went in there. So yeah, but yeah, you know, just some really cool pictures. I've got another one of these Guernsey books again. This one's That's Fermain Bay. This one's from. It doesn't say. It doesn't say what's going on. I think it's from the. I think it's around 1980 because there's some old Mark II Escorts in there, and as hire cars, so they would have stopped making them then. 80, 81 time. But yeah, there's some. Got all the old hotels in again. Black's Guide to the Channel Islands, Jersey, Guernsey, Sark, Alderney and adjacent islets, 1885. Book's a new issue, obviously. It's not from 1885. But yeah, there's lots of what's in here? I was just talking about climate, language, natural history, geology, archaeology and history, what's that? Laws and constitutions and stuff like that, and it's just bits like that all the way through. Just lots of their sort of stuff like that, and yeah, an early insight into how Guernsey was run. Then I got this very cool one here, the history and archaeology of Jetu, which is right next to Herm. Tiny little island. Used to be able to go there on day trips, I think it was, back in the 50s and 60s, I think. But there's some old maps in here as well, and lots of photos. Very old maps like that. Just really, really cool stuff. And lots of information. And that's Jetu there. And that's how it looks from Guernsey, roughly. The little one there. Another one here was this on the edge of Sark. So I think this is a picture of where me and Mike and Julie was standing on one of the cliffs looking down at this. That's the view you get back from Sark to Guernsey. You got Herm and then Jetu, and there's Guernsey's in the background. But very awesome pictures. This is more caves and stuff and cliff edges, and there's not a lot inland pictures there. Oh, that's why it's called On the Edge of Sark. Now I realise. This one is very interesting. This is the National Trust of Guernsey, buildings in the town and parish of St Peter Port, which is the main parish. This is this actually describes. Oh, what's that saying there? This is actually signed by is this signed? Oh no, it's not signed by the person that did it. No, it's just a present to someone in '94. But this is was compiled for the National Trust of Guernsey in August '74 to March '75, and you've got some big maps in here, some very old pictures, drawings of pictures. Like maps and stuff like that. That was in 1873, that map of St Peter Port. So I live in St Peter Port, and just gives you all like information here about the buildings, and they were describing what they look like. Very, very cool. Lots in that. Oh, I nearly bought this the other day by mistake, but I've already got it. This is Guernsey as it was. By Nick Mashon, and if you see that picture there, is just around the corner would be where HMV is now. And that building there is became our Woolworths. Some very impressive photos in there. But yeah, that's the Nick Mashon book. This book is done by. Oh, God. This book is done by my very good mate Ian Duckman. He's friends with me on Facebook, and he's very much into. He was into his punk back in the day, when the punk scene, and even before it exploded, he was one of the proper punks of Guernsey, and used to wear his hair spiky and all different, whatever colour him and his mate could do it, they did it. I read this is his book called Reject. This is Ian here, and this is about his life in and out of children's homes. Not because he was he didn't sound very naughty kid. It was just, I think it was just down to his parents, or his dad especially was violent. So, but yeah, check out this book, Reject. He did put in it. He did write in it, sign it for me. It's an easy book to read as well, because the writing's very big, and I found it easy to read because of my ASD, and I like things to be quite big and easy to read. But yeah, brilliant book of his life story, right down to people staring at him in the street and looking at him like they were not weirdos and stuff, because they were wearing all their punk stuff. And he lived in Leeds for many years as well, and used to work in a club where he'd take in lots of the equipment and stuff, like a roadie would do type thing, and met loads of people in the bands at the time, like the sort of punk bands and the indie bands and that sort of thing, and the new wave bands and things like that. And that was a brilliant read. So if you can find a copy of that, get hold of it. Brilliant story. Another one which is close to my heart, because I love this subject anyway, and I've done since they found the ship, was the Titanic. This is actually the Channel Island connections. These are all the people from Guernsey and the rest of the Channel Islands that were on the ship, the ones that survived, the ones that didn't, and such an amazing book as well. This one's signed by the guy that did the book, Alistair Crosby. But yeah, and some people on Alderney actually saw the ship go past on its way to Cherbourg. So there's lots of stories and stuff, and there's they even show the pictures of the houses in Guernsey where the people who, some of them that didn't survive, the houses that they actually lived were their houses. But yeah, there's the Jersey connections in here. They've even got their grave sites in here and everything, pictures of stuff like that, and there was supposed to be talk that some people that were on this, that were in here, are actually related to myself, but I've got to go down even more genealogy to research to find it. But yeah, you know, loads of really cool stuff in there. They made this book slightly smaller later on as well. I got the first one. And then we got some people and places. There. This is right opposite. On this side was our amazing record shop we had called Number 19. But there's some really amazing photos in here. And very, very cool stuff in here. Don't want that one. That one's not going to be of any interest, I don't think. These here, Blony Good Times. These are from people that memories of growing up in Guernsey in the 50s and 60s. There's all sorts of people's stories and that, and old pictures and stuff. And then they brought out the next one, which you'll see hopefully soon if I find it, and it's called More Blony Good Times. So yeah, really good read, that one. Ken Hawkes' Sark book. This used to be quite big, this book. This is a smaller version. Not a huge amount of photos in here, but the coupe, which was erected in 1902, the Germans did a bit more to it, and then it was made safer later on. The amount of people that fell down that coupe, because it was only like a thin bit of track with no barriers or rails or anything to protect you, and if there was a strong gust of wind it would blow you over the cliff. That's some of the stories that were in the Sark books and that. The Bailiwick of Guernsey, another one by C.P. LeCure. This was actually 21 shillings, so it's going to be an old book. Let's find out the date. This was done in, I'll get there in a minute, 1952 this was first printed. So yeah, this is a very, very cool book to have. But yeah, There is an Occupation, another one there, by Miriam Mahi. There's the Germans walking past the town church there in the market. And this is just talking about people, where's it gone? This one's signed as well by Miriam as well, got it in the front up there. This is just talking about the when the Germans came over and what it was like. So, excuse me, I'm occupied. This is picture. There's a picture of a German and a donkey. They call us Guernsey people, they call us donkeys, whereas we call the Jersey people frogs, or crappos. That's what we call them as well. But yeah, there's a German wrestling with a donkey. That's a German wrestling with a Guernsey person. But yeah, very cool. I've never read this book, so I can't really tell you much about it at the moment. It's the story of life on the island of Guernsey during the occupation, and what it means to be a Guernsey donkey, being able to carry a very heavy load physically and mentally, willing to be led but refuse to be pushed, and very, very stubborn and proud of it. It says down there. I'll have to read that sometime. This is an old one, 2 and 6 Sark book. See 2 and 6, how much it was. But yeah, this one was done in, trying to find the date. It's not there, I don't think. 1961, this book. And yeah, it's just a very cool, tiny little book. Lots of information by Michael Marshall. And I need to actually read this a bit more, this book, because I need some more, to find some more information. There was family that were from Sark that moved to Guernsey and even to Alderney. God, do you know, I can't feel my leg. My leg has gone completely dead. Pins and needles, it's going to start in a minute. Hitler's British Islands. On there. This is a 64-page booklet of original wartime photographs and interviews, 1940 to 45. And this is when the Germans, when their first attack on Guernsey, destroying some wagons or trucks that had boxes on them and baskets and stuff, being shipped onto boats to leave St. Peter Port. And the Germans were so stupid, right? They thought that they were munitions. Guernsey didn't even have anything like that, right? And it was actually just boxes of tomatoes, and they killed several people. What morons, eh? But yeah, here they are, look. Landing at the Guernsey airport, up there. That's Jersey, that one. Very famous picture. That one's usually on most books, that one. But yeah, I'll just give you an insight into we do have a German cemetery as well. There's quite a few of them buried. This is one of the ones I went in. I did a video on this one here, which is you'll see one of my videos. I went in that one, and this is them Castle Corner overlooking St. Peter Port, one of their guns. Loads of stuff in there, loads. Then I got this one, a guide to German fortifications in Guernsey. Big tower there, German tower. This book was done in 1997 by Ernie Gave, and this gives you like the layouts of a lot of the bunkers and where they are and stuff like that. Just tons and tons of information. This is a visitor's guide to Guernsey, Alderney, Sark and Herm. Probably from the 90s, I suppose. Actually, it could be the 80s. Let's have a look. This is the first edition was done in 83, second 89, third 94, fourth 96. So this issue is 96, but the pictures in it are older than 96 because you've got some old Ford Fiestas in there from the 80s. So yeah, they didn't really update it like that one. This one here, the Beast of Jersey. Right, this guy is for real. Okay, this guy was like a bit like Fred West-ish, but he used to wear this mask, something like a bit like Texas Chainsaw Massacre type scary mask. He was arrested in July 71, but he was known as the Beast of Jersey, and he used to pray. Where was it again? Edward Paynell, if I pronounce that right. I have read some of this book. He used to attack children, and that was instead of adults. And he used to, yeah. If you want to know about it, look up the Beast of Jersey on YouTube. Okay, but quite disturbing. Oh, that's just a Perry's Guide. Don't need that. This one here, I went to the Jersey war tunnels. This was actually the identity card of a real person, and it was this lady here. And you get these identity cards, but you don't know who you're going to get. And then you open it up, and all these facts are correct. And at the end of the tour, you walk around the Jersey war tunnels, which is absolutely amazing, right? There's a board at the end, and it actually tells you what happened to him at the end, and it's a very, very sad experience at the end. And this lady was actually a Jersey woman, so. But I can't remember what happened to her now. I'd have to find out. But it does tell you at the end of the tour, so very worthwhile going to Jersey for that. That's just a visitor guide. Walks for the motorist in Guernsey. That's another one. This one was done by Alan Barber. This is I love all the old photos. This one was done in 1980, and there's not a lot of photos, but you know, very cool. This is Molly B.A.'s book, the one I mentioned her name before, who in another video was interviewed by Tony Robinson of Blackadder fame. The German occupation of Guernsey, as seen through young eyes. And yes, that's the lady there. And a book I have not read yet. Got this one here, Auschwitz, How Many Perished, Jews, Poles and Gypsies. It's not really a Guernsey one, but there were people from Guernsey and Jersey that were deported, so to some of these camps. And I just picked this up because I thought, I've watched so many documentaries on Auschwitz, so, and there's probably a table, yeah, that would be the transports of Jews. Horrible stuff, horrible. The Guernsey Railway. We didn't have a Guernsey Railway, but the Germans built one. And we did have tram lines and stuff like that, obviously. Actually, we did have a steam railway. But that was done. That's weird, because that shows Victorian people in that picture. I'm going to have to read up on this one again. This was done in, first published in 67, but this is an 87 reprint. Guernsey Steam Tramway Company, yeah, Guernsey Railway Company. And then, and then the Germans did their own railway system, so. Yeah, so we did have a railway system of some sort. In there. The Alderney death camp. This is lots of people, slave workers, died in Alderney. Every single person that lived in Alderney at the time when the Germans came, they all fled. They were gone. That island was, I think, completely unoccupied by locals, and it was the Germans took over. They built camps and stuff, slave camps, and that is a harrowing book to read, from what I've been told. So I will get to read that at some point. That's all I'm going to do, I think. Oh, this one here quickly. This one, Guernsey in colour, little brochure, and these are very old pictures from, these would be, if I get this right, definitely the 60s. So yeah, definitely the 60s time. So buy the cars and that. So yeah, that's it for that video, and cheers for watching, and hope you enjoyed that, and check out the next part. I've got a few more to go through and some more over there. There could be about 5 parts. So cheers, see you later.